Okay, I will be talking to you about education in the paper industry. With the new age of electronics, it is getting harder for paper manufacturers to keep producing the same product and also maintaining steady revenue. In order to know how to adapt to the future, one must know where the industry is headed. I will talk to you about educational part of the paper and the pulp industry and where it is headed within the next 20 years. There are three key factors to consider when talking about paper and pulp and where it is headed, which includes the workforce, organization, and diversification. Next slide, please. First of all, I would like to talk to you about the workforce. The workforce is changing rapidly and becoming more global. Third world countries are developing and the demand for paper is increasing. Within the next 20 years, there will be 1 billion more people in the workforce and jobs will be needed. With paper companies streaming annual revenue around $2 billion and increasing, there will be a great deal of jobs to be had in the paper industry. The production of paper, especially in already developed countries, is moving towards technology more and more. This will eliminate many manual labor jobs, but will increase the need for more professional jobs in the technology area. Both developed and non-developed countries are becoming more aware of the environment, which will open up a huge array of jobs, including, but not limited to, deforest regulators, researchers and developers for safer chemicals, and a cleaner way to produce paper without polluting the water and depleting the ozone. There will be a loss of jobs throughout the whole supply chain of paper, from loggers to corporate managers in North America due to outsourcing. There are two main reasons to outsource paper and pulp production. It is cheaper to produce in a less developed country, and it will be less harmful to our local environment. Also, it will be cheaper for developing countries to acquire paper because it will be produced in their country or one nearby. Next slide, please. The second factor to take into consideration is organization. Within the organization of the paper and pulp industry, layouts of how plants are run are changing due to technology. Where laborers used to do all the work, and the majority of that is being taken away by technology. Also, instead of mill managers being on the site at all times, there will not be as much need for them due to that there will not be as many laborers. Another thing to talk about when changing the organization is international plants. With the need of paper increasing due to developing countries, companies will have to expand internationally in order to stay in business. Extending business internationally plays a big role in how the company is run. The paper and pulp industry is moving rapidly into countries such as India, Russia, and China, which are 3 of the 4 future world powers. In order to move production into a new country, rules and regulations must be met, people must be hired, and management must be trained. Although paper and pulp production is being adopted by other countries, upper management and environmentalists must not forget about being environmentally safe. With paper and pulp production being one of the most pollutionist industries, these organizations must focus on changing their vision and mission statements to be more environmentally safe. Next slide, please. The third factor that must be looked into is diversification. Being diverse and changing the paper and pulp industry will be awarded by a minimal, at least a sustainable competitive advantage. The first way to be diverse is becoming energy efficient. By becoming an energy efficient business, will eventually lead to the lowering of production, variable, and fixed costs. This production led to a rise in stock prices and bonuses within a company. The second way to become diverse is becoming more environmentally safe. If a paper and pulp company can reduce the amount of water and air pollution, then that company would be favored over any other company in the industry. This is so because the local air and water are not being polluted as much, and the people of that area will know that the company cares about their well-being and the well-being of the environment, which will lead to a sustainable competitive advantage. The last way to become diverse is by noticing that there's starting to be a greater need for paper globally and actually entering into a new country. If a company realizes that there is a need for paper and that there is potentially large profits in the paper and pulp industry, then that is an advantage in itself. One must know which country is developing the quickest and where it is cheapest to produce the paper in order to have a truly sustainable competitive advantage. Now I'll leave the floor to Brittany for the summary.
I will summarize what we've discussed so far in this presentation. The paper industry will remain global in scale, projected to contribute about 2% of world trade, and its future is economically important for many developing nations. While $59 billion of the U.S. paper industry remains generally healthy, Asia and Latin America have developed strong paper industries. As global competition became more of a factor, worldwide demand for U.S. paper products was initially forecast to increase in the early 2000s. However, the overvalued U.S. dollar and a growing trade deficit presented serious challenges for the nation's producers at home and abroad. Growth in Asia likely will lead to a decline in the United States' share of worldwide production. And as the world shifts from paper-based to electronic society, we project that paper will become less important in the years to come as information and entertainment industries rise because of electronic media. We believe a paperless office is in the future, and efforts will continue to be made to improve efficiency of paper by using electronic, mail, and double-sided copying. We should keep encouraging high standards of environmental management in business and developing closer cooperation between businesses and industrial organizations. The methods the paper industry chooses will have to be socially desirable, economically viable, and ecologically sustainable. And we hope that you will use these comments for your own business organizations to develop in the 21st century in the years to come. And this concludes our presentation. The following slides list our bibliography and references and citations of the information used in our project. And all this information was reliable and used for our research. The following slides. And our team would like to thank you for listening to our presentation of the U.S. paper industry.